Let's go now to Benjamin Hall. He's in London with more on how President Trump's relationship with NATO is shaping this operation. Benjamin.
Yeah, hi, Ainsley. And look, what we've seen over the last couple of weeks are these NATO allies saying that the Iranian regime is evil, that it would be no downfall if the regime fell, that their missile program, nuclear program are a threat to the whole world, that the people of Iran should rise up and be supported. And yet, country after country is now saying they refuse to help the U.S. Get rid of them, refuse to help the U.S. open the Strait of Hormuz. Here's what President Macron said earlier.
We are not a party to the conflict, and therefore France will never take part in operations to reopen or liberate the Strait of Hormuz in the current context.
And again, these countries are also talking about the effects this conflict is having on their gas prices, on their economies, on how Iran must open the Straits of Hormuz, must stop attacking ships. Hungary has introduced fuel caps. Austria, Germany announcing plans to limit price increases. The UK thinking it may have to do the same soon. And yet 4 days after President Trump asked them to help open the Straits of Hormuz, they have refused. And President Trump is now calling them out.
Well, we don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually. NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
And so as the bombing continues in Iran, as the Iranian regime continues to be weakened, the U.S. and Israel continue to be alone while they do so. And as the Iranian regime is attacking civilians using cluster bombs, it appears that one extra effect could be the U.S. relationship with NATO. President Trump also saying in the last day that the U.S. relationship with NATO appears to be a one-way street, that we will protect NATO, but they will not protect us. And so it could be a serious knock-on that we're seeing, but certainly reaching out to the world, saying who will help open the straits, who will help remove the regime. It feels for now the U.S. and Israel is alone.
All right. Thanks, Benjamin. I was always raised, no one likes a freeloader. All right. And it is very clear that anytime they need the United States, even just having us as the big brother almost, letting other threats know, don't attack them. We're going to be here standing in the gap. And it is true, in Afghanistan, many of the troops from Europe did fight with us then. But we're talking about right now. And the fact that they don't want to stand with us after we're going after radical Islamist threats that is highly prevalent in their countries as well, it's not a good look.
And they have a relationship, China and Iran. Iran is its largest trading partner. And so China is helping them evade U.S. sanctions, and then they are giving relatively low-cost oil to China. So they have this relationship. 90% of Iran's exported oil is purchased by China. And when you look at Venezuela, 2/3 of China's imports from Venezuela are oil. So if you weaken Iran and weaken Venezuela, you squeeze China.
Yeah, roughly, they have between 50 and 70% of Venezuelan exports were going to China. They're not getting that anymore. They're not getting it from there. They don't have a listening post in Cuba. It's beginning to evaporate because we're watching Cuba fall apart in real time. This is really roiling the relationship between our two countries. But China is very cognizant of President Trump. Yep. Toughness that he's shown, the unpredictability, which works in his favor, and don't want to totally destroy relationships where, remember, they blasted the Biden administration over in Alaska when they took over and said, you're showing us disrespect. Well, what the president's doing is subtly saying, I'm going to control the energy in our own atmosphere, in our own hemisphere, in our own backyard. And when it comes to Iran, that joint relationship you have worth $400 billion over the next 10 years, well, the problem is you're targeting us, killing our guys, hurting our allies. That's got to stop. Jameson Greer, our U.S. trade representative, put it all in perspective about what the Strait of Hormuz means, but in the big picture, how this is going to be resolved.
Well, I don't know if they'll join, but I agree with you. I think they import 8 to 9% of their fossil fuels from the Gulf and certainly from Iran, and they make up a large buyer of Iranian fuels. So you're right; they have a big stake in this. They have a strong interest in the war coming to a close quickly and in those straits being open. So our hope is that they'll be cooperative. Whether that means they're part of an operation or escorts in the straits, I can't tell you, but certainly it's important to them. And it's been interesting how cautious they've been on Iran.
Well, and it all goes back to the point that this administration, we brought this up with the Energy Secretary, the administration has allowed some of that oil to go to China. So they can cut it off at any point if they don't want to help us make sure that the passage of the rest of the oil can go to the other countries as well. So that's the leverage that the president has right now.
If they take Carg Island, where 90% of everything is done. So that's what the Marines could be doing on the USS Tripoli. Between 2,500 and 5,000 are on board. They could go take that. Now, that could be them a target, but are you going to target your own oil infrastructure? We could just level the whole thing and actually cut the limbs off that country. Saudi Arabia came out basically behind the scenes and said, all the Arab states, we want the U.S. to cripple this regime. They've had it. So for those people, while Europe says not our problem, the Arab states say now this is showing Iran is a problem, a threat to us, we're seeing it, and we want the U.S. to finish the job. And the Israelis. They won't say that as publicly.
Yeah, it'd be great to see a regime change there, and the people that do not back the Ayatollah and the family and all of those leaders. That's what they want. They're just terrified.
But Ainsley, isn't it strange that the Arab world, which we thought would be the hardest to get on board, even privately, with something like this, even though they've been saying it for years that Iran is a problem, but they're more involved than
they're
allies.
also getting hit, and I would imagine too they're seeing relationship with Donald Trump 100%. And with America, and that can help them monetarily. And also new generations are coming in, and the regimes are changing. The younger ones, they have different ideologies.
And the only thing I'll say on the NATO front, do you know you had missile defense set up in Europe? And that was set up prior to Barack Obama getting there. And he thought he would take it down because the Russians found it intrusive. Mm-hmm. It was directed to block missiles heading to Europe. Mm-hmm. Do you think for a second, seeing what they're doing to these Arab states, their so-called allies, that if they got an intercontinental missile or they got a missile, a long-range missile, they wouldn't be aiming for European capitals right now? Do you know that this is an enemy of your people? Look, if we had an operation in Cuba and we said NATO get involved, they might go, look, it's not my backyard. But this has direct impact on your own security in the area and your energy security. For you to pretend like this isn't in your interest is folly.
Well, and Donald Trump's been calling out NATO. He says that the Iran conflict is a, quote, great test for these European allies.
And it's a little test for the administration and the isolationist wing. You're seeing the podcasters critical of this administration, but yet 85% of MAGA supporters support this operation. And then you're seeing people like Joe Kent, an isolationist in their midst. He wants to walk away. I think it's time for anybody else who feels as though they want to stab the president in the back to just walk away.
Or don't do it.
Yeah, or don't work
for the administration if you're not going to be loyal.
Go leave and get a podcast.
That's right.
There's a microphone and a lounge chair waiting for you.
Well, join Fox in supporting all of our troops, because we have to praise them, the people who are giving up and sacrificing so much to go and fight for America's freedom. So we're praising them. From the daily needs to global emergencies, help us be there for those who serve.
Scan the QR code on your screen or visit go.fox/Red Cross to support service to the armed forces. Over 200 of our guys are wounded. We've lost some,
13.
And we've seen some of the bodies come back in Dover. These are some of the families that would benefit for your generosity.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.